Singing my song. The major change that's taken place for me in this manifestation of my inspired desires has been the awareness of my own capacity for activating the creative force to work with me. Today, as I live consciously in spirit, I feel as if I'm more and more able to be an activator of this divine synchronistic force and have it work with me rather than to me. I view these mystical moments as holy instants when my ego is suspended and spirit, in conjunction with my own divine desires, has become the teacher. As my sense of inspiration grows within me, I find myself wanting to do more for others and focusing less upon myself. What I desire is realized through the paradoxical means of desiring it for others even more than I want it for myself. By reaching out in this way and deliberately looking for ways to inspire others, I feel closer and closer to spirit, and ironically, I sense that more of what I desire seems to be flowing back to me as a result of this sharing. At this point in my life, I feel that staying in this glorious state of inspiration practically requires me to avoid condemning others. I look at the behavior of others, even those whose actions are anathema to an inspired world, and I send them love. I know deep within me that declaring war on the problems of violence, poverty, cancer, AIDS, and drug addiction isn't the solution. I'm uninterested in increasing these problems with violent, angry, or hateful thoughts or behavior. I know that I can't get sick enough to make one person better, or angry enough to end violence anywhere. I also sense very strongly that by staying in spirit and bringing a higher mental energy to the presence of these lower, ego-based energies, I'm a force for change, one that helps move the world closer to spirit. I anticipate a planet at peace, along with health, abundance, and love in my life and in the lives of all others. And I know that it's moving in this direction. I know that for every act of apparent evil, there are a million acts of kindness. That's where I place my attention, and that's what I choose to give away. By doing so, for the larger percentage of my days, my reward is a feeling of being in harmony with purpose. I watch the mynah birds sing every morning, and I know they're not doing it because they have the answers to all of life's problems. They have a song inside of them that they obviously feel compelled to let come out. I too have a song to sing, and by staying in spirit, I'm able to sing it all day, every day. I know that the answer to what should I be doing is to see the word yes on my inner screen. Yes, I am listening. Yes, I am paying attention. And most important, yes, I am willing. I notice that those around me who feel uninspired or unwilling to say yes to the feelings at the core of their being. By doing so, to every hunch, burning desire, and thought that won't go away, I feel the hand of a guiding spirit that's with me simply because I've been willing to say yes. By saying yes to life, I see the world and all of its inhabitants in a completely new way. As a result of being more and more inspired, I see spirit in virtually everyone I meet. And I feel much more connected to everyone as a result of sensing their spirit instead of noticing all of the accumulations of success that they've amassed. I call this seeing with my mind and not my eyes. It now seems that my identity is associated with experiences that are not exclusively of this world, and I love what my mind sees, possibilities and openings for miracles. It looks past the limitations of my eyes, and it knows that we're all one in an infinite world. My mind no longer views death as something to fear. Rather, it lives in an infinite place, and it is able to step back from this corporeal world and be an observer. Adequately conveying how I feel when I'm inspired is probably impossible. What I so sincerely want to share here is that the feeling of being completely in harmony with our source generates miracles everywhere. I have the delicious, spine-tingling sensation of bliss as I observe and interact in this world from the wondrous vista of being inspired. These words from A Course in Miracles ring true for me. All that must be recognized, however, is that birth was not the beginning and death is not the end. This is the knowing that I have from this infinite in-spirit perspective. There are no conflicts. All is as it should be. The things I wish to improve aren't going to be accomplished by fighting, but by placing my attention on staying connected to spirit. In 1 Corinthians, St. Paul says, "The very fact that you have lawsuits among you means you have been completely defeated already." As I live from a place of inspiration, I see that conflict is no longer possible for me, and I understand what Paul was attempting to say to the people of Corinth in that letter. I will not be defeated. I can't, because for me there's no they any longer. There's only us. I've turned my mind to spirit. I know that God created me to be like him, and I must be what I came from. This idea, more than any other, inspires me beyond what I can share here in this program. It's my intention to continue to stay inspired and live what my mind knows rather than only what my eyes see. And my mind knows that we're all in a universe that has a creative, organizing intelligence supporting it. I know that it flows through me, and God willing, I'll stay in spirit and assist you to live that life of inspiration that you came here to live. There can be no greater blessing. I send you love. I surround you with light. And I invite you to live with me in spirit. God bless you. Namaste.
There is a quiet power that exists within each of USA Power that, when embraced, transforms the very fabric of our lives. It is a power that speaks not through force, but through a subtle yet unwavering clarity. It is the power of setting boundaries, of establishing in our own hearts and in the world around us the sacred space that preserves our peace, our joy, and our truth. Many of us walk through life with a deep sense of disconnection from this power, believing that to love others, we must give endlessly, to surrender ourselves entirely. We have been taught to ignore our own needs, to sacrifice our well-being for the sake of others, and to be endlessly accommodating, even when it costs us our sense of self. But this, my dear friends, is not the path of self-love. This is the path of depletion, of losing touch with the essence of who we are, and of abandoning the very heart of our truth. True love, real love, begins with the deep respect and honor we show to ourselves. And one of the most sacred ways to honor yourself is by establishing boundaries that reflect your worth. Boundaries are not walls to keep others away. They are bridges that connect you to your own heart and soul. They are the language of self-respect, spoken not in words, but in actions, in the choices you make, in the way you move through the world with a quiet confidence that says, I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of my own presence. Boundaries are not limitations, nor are they restrictive. On the contrary, they are liberating. They are the invisible lines that allow your soul to expand into its true potential without fear of being overwhelmed, exploited, or diminished. They are the spaces where you find yourself again, where you remember who you truly are without the noise of the world drowning out your inner voice. Imagine, for a moment, a garden. This garden is your life, your spirit, your essence. It is lush and vibrant, filled with the flowers of your dreams, the fruits of your efforts, and the beauty of your soul. Now imagine that the garden has no fence, no boundary to protect it. It is vulnerable to the elements, to the animals that wander through, to the weeds that seek to overtake it. Without a fence, this garden is open to anything and everything, both the nourishing and the destructive. But when you place a boundary around that gardena gate, a fence, a wall of love and respect, you are not shutting out the world. You are simply ensuring that only that which nourishes you can enter. You are making space for your soul to grow, free from the encroachments of negativity, fear, and unhealthy influences. Your garden becomes a sanctuary, a place of peace, a place where you can breathe, bloom, and become all that you are meant to be. This is what boundaries do for your life. They create the space for you to exist fully in your truth, without compromise, without apology. Boundaries are the essence of your self-respect. They are the sacred lines that tell the world, this is who I am, and I will no longer accept anything less than my highest good. But to set boundaries, we must first understand something profound about ourselves. We are not here to please everyone. We are not here to be liked by everyone. We are not here to carry the burdens of others at the expense of our own peace. This is not selfishness. This is self-respect. And when we learn to honor ourselves in this way, we begin to realize that we are not only honoring ourselves, but we are also teaching others how to treat us. The most loving thing you can do for yourself is to honor your own needs. If you constantly give without receiving, if you allow others to overstep your boundaries, you are sending a message to the universe that you are not worthy of being treated with the same care and respect you so freely offer to others. You are teaching the world that it is okay to take from you without offering anything in return. And this, my friends, is a disservice to your soul. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about taking control of your own life. They are not about telling others what they can or cannot do, but rather about expressing your needs and making sure that you are not compromising your own well-being for the sake of others. Boundaries are a declaration of self-worth, a deep acknowledgement that you deserve to be treated with dignity, with respect, and with love. And yet, despite the power and importance of boundaries, many of us resist setting them. We fear the discomfort that may arise when we say no to someone or when we stand up for ourselves in the face of opposition. We fear rejection, judgment, and conflict. We believe that setting boundaries will make us seem rude, selfish, or unkind. But in truth, it is the opposite that is true. When we fail to set boundaries, we are being disrespectful to ourselves. We are dishonoring the divine spark within us. And we are allowing our energy, our time, and our love to be squandered by those who do not value us. The fear of setting boundaries often comes from a deep-seated belief that we are not enough, that we must constantly give in order to be worthy of love or acceptance. But this is a lie. You are already enough. You are already whole. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone by overextending yourself, by exhausting your energy, or by compromising your truth. You are deserving of respect, of space, and of peace, simply because you exist. When you begin to set boundaries, you will notice a shift in your life. You will begin to feel more at ease with yourself, more grounded in your own sense of purpose and direction. You will begin to attract people who respect you, who honor your needs, and who value your presence. You will find yourself in relationships that are mutually nourishing, where giving and receiving flow in balance. You will no longer feel drained, depleted, or overwhelmed, for you will have created the sacred space to nurture your own soul. Boundaries, my dear friends, are not walls of separation. They are the walls of self-love, self-respect, and self-care. They are the space in which you can breathe, grow, and evolve into the fullest expression of who you are. They are the language of your soul, speaking clearly and decisively to the world, I am worthy of love, I am worthy of peace, I am worthy of my own presence. So I ask you now, what boundaries do you need to set in your life? What are the areas where you have been overextending yourself, where you have been giving without receiving, where you have been neglecting your own needs? What are the relationships, the situations, the environments that are draining your energy and preventing you from living in your truth? It is time, my friends, to take a stand for yourself. It is time to honor your soul. It is time to create the sacred space in which you can thrive. And as you do, you will find that the world around you begins to shift. You will no longer be a victim of circumstance. You will no longer feel helpless or overwhelmed. You will be the master of your own life, and in doing so, you will become a beacon of light for others to follow. Remember this, boundaries are not barriers, they are bridges. They are the lines that connect you to your highest self, to your truth, and to your deepest potential. They are the language of self-respect, spoken not in words, but in actions, in choices, and in the way you live your life. And when you speak this language with clarity and conviction, you will find that the world responds with the same love, respect, and peace that you have chosen to give yourself. You are worthy of your own love. You are worthy of your own respect. You are worthy of your own peace. And the time to honor yourself, to set your boundaries, is now. May you walk forward with the strength and courage to honor your truth, to honor your soul, and to embrace the beautiful, powerful, and divine being that you are. As you stand at the threshold of this new understanding, let us take a moment to reflect on the profound transformation that is occurring within you. In this very moment, you are shedding the old layers, the beliefs and fears that have held you hostage for far too long. You are unearthing the truth that has always resided within you, waiting patiently for you to remember. You are not here to serve others. at the expense of your own soul's peace. So many of us have lived in a state of fear, fearing the consequences of asserting our boundaries, believing that we would be abandoned, criticized, or misunderstood. We've been taught that self-respect is selfishness, that honoring our needs is a sign of weakness. But what if, instead of being weak, this is where your true power lies? What if honoring yourself, taking the time to nurture your spirit, your mind, your body, was the most powerful act of self-love and respect you could ever offer to the world? Imagine for a moment that your soul is a vast, expansive ocean. It is deep, boundless, and brimming with infinite potential. But imagine if that ocean had no shores, no boundaries. It would be constantly swayed by every passing current, every wave that came its way. It would be endlessly susceptible to the storms of life, with no protection, no foundation upon which to stand. But when you create boundaries, when you set the shorelines of your soul, you are allowing your ocean to be still, to find its own rhythm, to flow within the beauty of its own vastness. You give yourself the space to breathe, to reflect, to grow in a way that is aligned with your deepest essence. Boundaries allow you to be your truest self without fear of being swept away by the demands, expectations, and judgments of others. When you stand firm in your truth, when you honor your needs, you are not rejecting the world. You are simply choosing to honor the love and wisdom that resides within you. You are saying to yourself and to the world, I am worthy of my own care. I am worthy of my own peace. I am worthy of my own love. And when you honor yourself in this way, something miraculous happens. You begin to magnetize the same energy into your life. You start to attract people, situations, and opportunities that respect your boundaries, that honor your essence, and that support your growth. Your life begins to unfold in a way that feels natural, effortless, and aligned with your soul's purpose. You begin to experience relationships that are mutually nourishing, where love flows freely and without condition, where respect is a given, not something that needs to be earned. But it all begins with you. It all begins with your decision to stop waiting for the permission of others to live your truth. No one else can give you the validation, the peace, or the love that you seek. It can only come from within. The boundaries you set are not walls to keep the world out. They are doors to invite in only that which serves your highest good. They are the spaces in which you come alive, in which you connect with the deepest parts of yourself that have been waiting for you to remember. As you move forward in life, there will be times when you are faced with challenges, when people will test your boundaries, when life will ask you to stretch beyond your comfort zone. In those moments, remember this: you do not have to say yes to everything. You do not have to sacrifice your peace, your well-being, or your truth for the sake of others. Your boundaries are not rigid. They are flexible, fluid, and ever-evolving. They can bend, shift, and grow with you, but they must always remain rooted in the love and respect that you have for yourself. When you choose to honor your boundaries, you are not closing yourself off from the world. You are opening yourself to a deeper, more authentic connection with the world. You are teaching others how to honor your needs just as you honor theirs. You are creating a space where love, compassion, and understanding can flourish, free from the distractions, judgments, and insecurities that often cloud our relationships. And in this space, you find your true power. You realize that you are not a victim to the circumstances of your life, but the creator of your experience. You are no longer bound by the expectations of others, but free to live fully in alignment with your soul's truth. You become the master of your own destiny, no longer waiting for the world to define you, but instead defining the world around you with the strength of your love, your clarity, and your boundaries. This, my friends, is the path of true freedom. It is the path of self-respect. It is the path of honoring yourself, of giving yourself the space to become the fullest expression of your divine self. It is the path of saying, I am worthy of love, I am worthy of peace, I am worthy of my own presence. And as you walk this path, you will discover that the more you honor yourself, the more you are able to give to others. The more you set boundaries that protect your peace, the more you have to offer the world. Your energy becomes pure, radiant, and untainted by the noise of the world. You become a beacon of light for others to follow, a living example of what it means to live in alignment with your highest self. So, take this moment to breathe deeply, to center yourself, and to reflect on the boundaries you need to set in your life. What are the areas where you have been overextending yourself? What are the relationships or situations that are draining your energy and keeping you from fully embracing your truth? What are the boundaries that will allow you to live with greater peace, greater joy, and greater alignment with your divine purpose? It is time, my friends, to honor yourself. It is time to step into the fullness of your being, to create the space where you can thrive, and to embrace the love, respect, and peace that you so richly deserve. As you do, you will find that the world around you begins to shift. You will find that you no longer need to chase love, peace, or happiness. They will come to you naturally as a result of the boundaries you have set in place. Remember this: you are worthy of your own love. You are worthy of your own respect. You are worthy of your own peace. And when you honor these truths within yourself, the world will reflect them back to you in ways that you never thought possible. May you walk forward with the strength and courage to honor your truth, to honor your soul, and to embrace the beautiful, powerful, and divine being that you are. You are worthy of every good thing that life has to offer, and it begins with the simple yet profound act of setting boundaries that reflect your worth. As we continue this path, you will encounter moments that will test your resolve. Life, in its infinite wisdom, often presents us with opportunities disguised as challenges, asking us to stand firm in our truth. These tests are not obstacles. They are invitations inviting you to rise to the occasion, to hold your boundaries with grace and conviction. There will be moments when the people around you do not understand your boundaries. They may resist, they may challenge, or they may try to convince you that you are being too rigid, too self-centered, or too demanding. In these moments, remember this: your boundaries are not meant to be understood by everyone. They are meant to be felt deeply within the core of your being. The world may not always honor your boundaries, but that does not mean that they are not valid. The essence of a boundary is that it is personal, it is sacred, and it is rooted in your divine right to be at peace with yourself. You see, boundaries are not about controlling others. They are not about manipulation or punishment. They are about creating the space for your soul to breathe, to thrive, and to evolve. They are the invisible lines that protect your inner world, that safeguard your peace, your energy, and your purpose. When you set boundaries, you are not rejecting others. You are simply affirming that you have a right to exist in your truth, free from the distractions, expectations, and manipulations of the world. It is in these moments of resistance, when others push against your boundaries, that you are called to stand firm in your power. This is not an act of defiance, it is an act of self-respect. It is a recognition that your needs, your peace, and your well-being matter. And when you hold firm to your boundaries, you are not just honoring yourself, you are teaching others how to honor you as well. Boundaries also serve another profound purpose. They bring clarity into your relationships. When you set clear boundaries, you are communicating to the world exactly what you need, what you will accept, and what you will not. This clarity opens the door for deeper, more meaningful connections, because you are no longer engaging in relationships that drain your energy, that leave you feeling unseen, unheard, or unappreciated. Boundaries remove the ambiguity and allow both you and the other person to operate in a space of mutual respect, understanding, and trust. It is important to remember, however, that boundaries are not set once and for all. They are living, evolving expressions of your ongoing journey. As you grow, as you evolve, so too will your boundaries. What once felt right may no longer align with your truth, and that is perfectly okay. The act of setting and adjusting boundaries is an ongoing process of tuning into your deepest needs, your soul's desires, and your highest good. It is about being flexible and adaptable while never compromising your inner peace or your worth. Now, you may ask, what happens when you do not set boundaries? What happens when you allow others to overstep? When you do not speak your truth, or when you ignore the gentle whispers of your soul? The answer is simple. You begin to lose yourself. Slowly, gradually, over time, you become disconnected from your true essence. You may begin to feel depleted, overwhelmed, or resentful. You may find that you are constantly giving, but never receiving, that you are pouring from an empty cup. And when this happens, your soul begins to wither, and you lose sight of the peace, the joy, and the purpose that are meant to flow freely through you. But this does not have to be your reality. You do not have to live in a state of depletion. You do not have to live in a constant state of compromise or self-sacrifice. You have the power, the divine right, and the strength to reclaim your energy, your peace, and your truth. And it begins with a simple yet profound act of setting boundaries, of saying no when you need to, of walking away from situations that drain you, and of honoring the divine presence within you that seeks only peace, love, and joy. As you begin to honor your boundaries, something magical begins to unfold. You will notice that your energy becomes more vibrant, more focused, and more aligned with your soul's purpose. You will notice that your relationships become more authentic, more nourishing, and more fulfilling. And most importantly, you will notice that you begin to feel more at home with yourself, more at peace with your choices, and more aligned with the divine truth that resides within you. This is the gift of boundaries, the gift of reclaiming your power, your peace, and your divine essence. When you set boundaries, you are not rejecting the world. You are inviting the world to meet you at the level of your truth. You are inviting the world to recognize your worth, to honor your space, and to see you as you truly are a divine, worthy, and powerful being deserving of love, respect, and peace. As we come to the close of this journey, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on the boundaries that you need to set in your life. What areas need more space? What relationships need clearer definitions? Where are you giving away too much of your energy, your time, or your love? What are the changes that you can make right now that will honor your soul and create the space for your highest self to emerge? Remember, setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of self-love. It is the foundation of a life lived in alignment with your truth. It is the key to unlocking your full potential, to stepping into your power, and to living the life that you were always meant to live. May you walk forward with courage, with clarity, and with the unwavering knowledge that you are worthy of every good thing that life has to offer. May your boundaries be strong, and may they be an expression of the love, respect, and peace that you hold within. And may you continue to honor yourself, your soul, and your divine purpose, knowing that you are enough, you are worthy, and you are loved just as you are. You are the creator of your life. You are the master of your boundaries, and you are the keeper of your peace. As we reach the final part of this transformative journey, let us reflect on everything that has been shared and understood. You have discovered the profound power that comes from setting boundaries, boundaries that protect your peace, that honor your worth, and that create the sacred space necessary for your soul to thrive. You have learned that boundaries are not barriers to others, but bridges that connect you more deeply with your highest self, allowing you to walk through life with clarity, strength, and divine purpose. The path to true freedom is not one of endless compromise or self-sacrifice. It is the path of reclaiming your divine right to exist in your fullest expression, free from the influence of external demands that threaten your inner peace. And while the road to setting boundaries can be challenging at times, especially when you fear the reactions of others, it is the most loving and empowering act you can make. It is the act of honoring your own soul, your own needs, and your own truth, knowing that when you do this, you create the space for your life to unfold with ease, grace, and alignment. But now, I ask you, how will you walk forward. The knowledge you have gained in this moment is not meant to remain only as an idea. It is meant to be lived, breathed, and embodied. It is time for you to take the first steps toward honoring yourself in the most sacred way possible by setting boundaries that reflect your worth, your truth, and your divine right to peace. It is time for you to look at the areas of your life where you have been overextending yourself, where you have allowed others to take too much, where you have neglected your own needs for the sake of others. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what are the areas of my life that require more respect? Where do I need to draw the line and say, this is enough? Perhaps it is in your relationships, those that have drained you, taken from you, without offering anything in return. Perhaps it is in your work where you have given tirelessly, but the balance of energy exchange has been off, leaving you feeling undervalued and exhausted. Perhaps it is within yourself, where you have allowed old fears, limiting beliefs, and self-doubt to overrun your thoughts, preventing you from living your fullest life. Whatever it is, know this: you have the power to change it. The moment you say no to something that no longer serves you, you are not only freeing yourself, you are creating space for something greater to enter. You are creating space for peace. You are creating space for love. You are creating space for your soul to expand, to rise, and to be seen in its fullest light. Remember, my friends, that boundaries are not a form of isolation. They are an invitation for others to meet you at the level of your truth. When you set your boundaries, you are teaching the world how to treat you, and you are teaching others how to honor their own needs as well. Boundaries create a ripple effect, encouraging those around you to live with more integrity, more authenticity, and more respect for themselves and others. So, as you move forward, embrace the power of saying no when necessary. Embrace the power of choosing your peace over pleasing others. Embrace the power of stepping into your worth, knowing that you are enough, that you are deserving, and that you are worthy of your own love, care, and attention. This is your time, the time to reclaim your soul, the time to honor your truth, the time to live with boundaries that allow your spirit to soar, unfettered by the expectations and demands of the world. You are not here to give endlessly without receiving. You are not here to be the martyr, to lose yourself in the service of others. You are here to live fully, to live joyously, and to live in alignment with the divine truth that resides within you. And so I ask you now, will you honor your boundaries? Will you stand tall in your worth and create the space necessary for your soul to thrive? Will you choose peace, respect, and love, both for yourself and for those you encounter on your journey? I know you will. You have everything you need to walk this path, and as you do, you will become the living example of what it means to live in self-respect, self-love, and self-honor. You will become a beacon of light for others to follow, a reminder that boundaries are not walls to shut the world out, but doors to allow the world in only at the level of your highest truth. And in this space, you will discover the boundless freedom that comes with living in alignment with your divine essence. You will realize that you are not just surviving, you are thriving. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are the master of your own life. You are no longer afraid of setting boundaries because you understand that they are the language of self-respect, the language of self-love, and the language of freedom. So, as we come to the end of this journey, I leave you with this final thought. Your life is your own. It is a sacred, divine expression of who you are, and it is yours to shape, to nurture, and to protect. May you walk forward with the strength, the clarity, and the unwavering confidence that comes from knowing your worth, from setting boundaries, and from honoring your truth. You are worthy, you are enough, and you are loved just as you are. This is your time to rise. This is your time to shine. This is your time to live the life you were always meant to live. And so it is.
Everything begins within before the mansion is built, before the wealth is accumulated. Before the success is broadcasted to the world, it is first imagined. Imagination is not a passive daydream. It is a creative act. It is the divine faculty through which we mode our world to feel like a millionaire before the 1,000 arrive. You must train yourself to imagine differently, deliberately, and persistently. You are not waiting for life to hand you riches. You are commanding reality to express your inner convictions. What you consistently imagine yourself to be, you become, not because imagination is wishful thinking, but because it is the cause of all outward expression. The world you see is not separate from your consciousness. It is shaped by it, colored by it, and projected by it. When you consistently hold the image of yourself as wealthy, successful, and free, you are not pretending you are creating, you are rewriting the unseen blueprint that governs the events of your life. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are aligning yourself with the deeper truth, a higher identity, one that already exists within you. The problem is not that people imagine too much, but that they imagine the wrong things. They see debt, so they feel poor. They see struggle, so they assume lack. But the senses only confirm the past. Imagination reveals the future. To truly be wealthy, you must ignore the evidence of the senses and become loyal to your inner vision. This is not denial. It is mastery. It is the secret the world overlooks. Let your imagination become your sanctuary. Visit it often, sit in silence, and ask yourself, what would my life look like if I were already a millionaire? Do not answer with logic. Feel it. Experience it in full color. Walk through your dream home. Sit in the comfort of your favorite chair. See your bank balance reflecting abundance. Hear the words of admiration spoken about you. Feel the security, the power, the joy of having more than enough. This practice is not to get rich in the tradition, since it is to become inwardly rich now. It is to enter the state where money is not something you chase. It is something that flows to you as a natural response to your consciousness. The outer world will catch up, but only if you do not waver. Return daily to your inner sanctuary. Build the habit of seeing yourself as wealthy. Do not do it to impress the world. Do it to awaken the truth within you. Wealth is not something you achieve. It is something you express, and expression begins in imagination. The world will follow your lead when you lead from within. Imagination is not the escape from reality. It is the foundation of it. Dare to imagine boldly, and reality must conform. This is the true power hidden in plain sight. Your imagination is the gateway to reality. The key to transformation is not effort, but identification. You must stop reaching for your desires as if they are somewhere far away. Instead, bring them into the present by assuming they are already yours. Do not wait for the millions to feel abundant. Feel abundant now, and the millions will have no choice but to show up. Living in the end means occupying the state of your fulfilled desire mentally, emotionally, spiritually, before there is any evidence in the physical world. It means thinking from your goal, not about your goal. You do not try to become wealthy, you become it in consciousness. You no longer ask, when will it happen? You begin to live as if it has already happened. This is not pretending it is creating. You are not faking anything. You are faithfully inhabiting a reality that already exists on a higher level. Your job is not to force it into existence, but to assume the position of one who already possesses it. Ask yourself daily, if I were already a millionaire, how would I think, speak, move, and feel? What decisions would I make? What would I no longer worry about? What would I expect? Living in the end requires that you allow these answers to shape your behavior right now, not someday in the future. Your inner world must reflect the truth of your fulfilled desire, even when the outer world has not yet caught up. Living in the end is an act of radical faith. It is choosing to prioritize your inner conviction over external conditions. And here is the paradox. Once you truly live in the end, the outer world begins to rearrange itself to match your new identity. The world cannot help but yield to your dominant state of being. This state must become natural. It should feel so real to you that you no longer question it. You no longer hope for wealth. You move through your day with the confidence of someone who already has it. You no longer seek signs. You are the sign. The world reflects who you are being, not what you are wanting. When doubts arise, and they will, do not fight them. Simply return to the state. Enter the end in your imagination. See it. Feel it. Dwell in it. Let it soothe you and guide you. Let the feeling of the wish fulfilled be your resting place. When this becomes your default state, life begins to bend around your new identity. Understand this. Your desire was not given to torment you. It was given to awaken you. It is a seed from a higher realm, and it comes complete with all that is required for its fulfillment. but you must nourish it by living as though it is already so. So today, make the decision. Stop postponing your wealth. Step into the feeling of already being that which you desire. Don't wait for the end. Live in the end. And from that place, all things are not only possible, they are inevitable. Wealth is not a number in a bank account. It is a state of being. It is not something you acquire. It is something you embody when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You no longer act as someone who is striving for success. You become the person who already possesses it, and in the becoming, the outer world must rearrange itself to mirror your inner transformation. Your emotional state is creative. It sends out a silent signal to the universe, and that signal is always being answered when you feel poor, needy, or lacking. Even if you mask it with positive words, you are still declaring, "I do not have," and the world echoes back that truth. But when you feel rich, secure, and abundant, regardless of your current circumstances, you are broadcasting a new signal, one that commands reality to follow. Assumption is not about effort or force. It is about surrendering into the truth of the desired state. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled means to dwell in the emotional atmosphere of already having what you desire. It is feeling as though your desire has already been realized, and living from that conviction. You don't wait for evidence to feel differently. You feel differently first, and then the evidence appears. This is the great reversal that most never understand. The world teaches you to react, but creation demands that you lead. You must feel the result before the result can show itself. Feel rich now, and the world must catch up. Imagine what it would feel like if money were no longer a concern. Let that feeling rise in your body. Would you feel relieved, grateful, free? Would you walk differently, speak with more certainty, sleep more peacefully? That feeling is the key. It is not fantasy, it is the blueprint. You must move into that state, occupy it fully, and let it become familiar. And here's the beautiful secret. You can do this now. No one can stop you from entering the state of wealth in your mind. You don't need permission. You don't need the current balance in your bank account to change. You need only to accept emotionally and mentally that you are what you desire to be. When the feeling becomes natural, the world responds. It may not happen instantly, but it must happen. The laws of creation are exact. Persist in the assumption and do not let temporary appearances shake your inner conviction. The longer you remain in the state, the more inevitable its expression becomes. So practice this daily. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and step into the version of you who is already rich. Not tomorrow, not later now. Feel the warmth of abundance, the confidence, the calm power of wealth. Let it clothe your mind. Let it become who you are. You are not chasing wealth. You are revealing it. The treasure is already within. You assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and your world will reshape itself in perfect harmony with the truth. You now dare to feel one of the greatest obstacles to manifestation is the mind's insistence on controlling the past. It wants to know how everything will happen, when it will arrive, and through whom. But that need to micromanage life is what keeps your desire at arm's length. The truth is, the path to $1,000 is not your concern. It is not your job to figure out how abundance will reach you. Your only responsibility is to remain loyal to the state of already being wealthy. Desire does not come alone. It carries with it the means of its own fulfillment. The moment you truly desire something and assume it has already done, the unseen begins to move, and visible currents shift people, opportunities, and events begin to align. But these movements happen beyond your line of sight. You may not see the orchestration, but it is happening nonetheless. When you constantly ask how, you are declaring that you do not trust the process. You are telling the universe, "I do not believe this can happen unless I control every step." And so you block the flow, you introduce doubt, tension, and fear. You step out of the end state and into the waiting state. And in doing so, you delay your own manifestation. Eventually, detachment from the how is not indifference, it is wisdom. It is knowing that your imagination is the seed, and your assumption is the soil. Once planted, your only job is to remain faithful to what you've created within. You do not dig up the seed to check if it's growing. You water it with confidence. You nourish it with repetition. You protect it from dour. Faith is demonstrated by rest. If you truly believed you were already wealthy, you wouldn't worry about the mechanics. You wouldn't obsess over the next step. You would trust that all things are working for your good, even if you cannot yet see how. No. You would move with quite certainty. You would live your life with a calm assurance that what you've imagined is already on its way. Miracles often arrive through the most ordinary channels. You may receive a phone call, a job offer, a new connection, or even a seemingly random idea. But these are not accidents. They are the result of your inner state. Do not try to predict how it will unfold. Simply remain in the feeling of being wealthy now, and allow the path to reveal itself in its own time and form. Let go of the timeline, let go of the need to plan every detail. Let go of the urge to doubt when things seem still. Trust that the stillness is not stagnation. It is preparation. The invisible is organizing on your behalf. Doors will open, and you will know which one to walk through when the moment comes. Stay loyal to the end. That is your only task. Feel it, live it, believe it. The how will take care of itself. Life is not asking you to control it, only to align with it. Detach from the how, and you will witness the impossible become inevitable. Words are not just sounds. There are declarations of identity. Every time you speak, whether aloud or silently in your mind, you are casting a vote for the version of yourself you believe in. If you want to experience the life of a millionaire, you must begin to speak from that reality. Not about it as a distant goal, but from it as a present truth. There is a powerful difference between saying one day I'll be rich and saying I am wealthy now. The former places your desire in the future, always just out of reach. The latter anchors it in the present, where creation actually occurs. You are not trying to become something, you are affirming that you already are. This is where most people go wrong. They speak about what they want, complain about what they don't have, and talk about lack as if it were unchangeable. They beg, wish, and hope, not realizing that these postures only reinforce their current state. But to truly shift your reality, you must speak from the place you wish to occupy. You must claim it in thought, word, and feeling. Imagine the inner dialogue of someone who already possesses great wealth. Would they worry about bills? Would they obsess over price tags? Would they speak in terms of struggle and limitation? No. Their words would reflect confidence, peace, generosity, and abundance. Begin to speak in this way, and you align your vibration with the very reality you wish to enter. Let your inner conversations be filled with certainty, not desire. When you talk to yourself, and you do all day long, let those quiet conversations reflect your new identity. Say to yourself, I always have more than enough. Money flows easily to me. I make decisions from a place of power. I am blessed beyond measure. You are not lying. Even when appearances contradict, your words persist. Speak from the end result, not from the temporary facts. Creation is not confirmed by what you see. It is confirmed by what you declare. You are not waiting for proof. You are giving life to truth. When challenges arise, do not fall back into old patterns of speech. Speak as the version of yourself who already knows how this story ends. You are not the character trying to win. You are the one who has already won. Let your tone, your energy, your words reflect that reality. Speak with calm authority. Speak with joy. Speak with unshakable belief. Every word you speak carves out your future. Use them wisely. Stop telling the story of struggle. Start telling the story of success. Let the language of wealth become natural to you. Not just in affirmations, but in your ordinary conversations, in your private thoughts, and in your daily choices. You don't need the world to validate you. You need only to remain true to the version of yourself that already exists in imagination. Speak from it, and life will follow your voice. The universe responds to identity, not effort. So speak now, not as someone who hopes to be a millionaire, but as one who already is. Manifestation is not a momentary flash of inspiration. It is a steady, deliberate act of faith. The difference between those who manifest their desires and those who fall short is not talent, luck, or external circumstances. It is persistence. Doubt delays, but persistence creates. You must remain loyal to your imagined reality until it becomes the only truth you recognize. To persist means to occupy the state of your fulfilled desire again and again, regardless of what your senses tell you. The world around you may scream the opposite of your vision. Your bank account might not yet reflect abundance. Circumstances may appear unchanged, but the persistent one does not waver. They continue to walk, speak, and feel as though their desire is already fat. This is the secret. What you consistently accept as true within must eventually become true. Without, the world cannot resist your sustained inner conviction. But most people give up too soon. They plant the seed of wealth in their imagination, but when results don't appear instantly, they dig it up with doubt. They let the visible override the invisible. And so they start over again and again, never allowing the new state to take root. But if you will persist quietly, confidently, without needing evidence, you will see your assumption harden into fact. It may come slowly at first, like a distant echo, a small shift here, a new opportunity there. But soon the momentum builds. Life begins to reshape itself around your dominant state. The outer world conforms to the inner blueprint. Persistence is not about force, it's about faithfulness. You are remaining faithful to your new identity, not because you are trying to make something happen, but because you know it already has. There is nothing to chase, only something to become. You live as the millionaire now. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now you buy in your imagination. You live in gratitude. You think from abundance. You do this again and again until it becomes natural, and when it becomes natural, it becomes real. With great manifestation begins with persistence. The dreamer holds to their dream through silence, through setbacks, through appearances. They trust the unseen more than the seen. They speak wealth into being even when no one else sees it. They are not moved by facts. They are anchored in truth, and that truth is simple. You already are what you desire to be. It is done. The only thing left is to remain in that knowing long enough for the outer world to catch up. You don't need to beg, hustle, or prove anything. You only need to persist. So hold the image, feel the feeling, speak the words, walk in the assumption and do it until there is no room for doubt, until it becomes effortless, until the inner becomes outer. Reality will bend, the world will conform, and what once lived only in your imagination will stand before you as fact. So now you know. The millionaire version of you is not waiting somewhere in the distance. It is here, now ready to be claimed. Your wealth does not begin with action, but with being. You become it in thought. You assume it in feeling. You express it in speech, and you remain faithful to it in imagination until the unseen becomes seen. Live in the end. Assume the feeling. Detach from the how. Speak from it. Persist without wavering. This is the divine formula. This is the path walked by those who understand that reality begins within, no matter where you are right now. Know this, your current circumstances are not the final word. You are the operant power. The authority over your life rests in your ability to feel a new state, to inhabit it, and to trust it until it becomes flesh. Dare to believe that what you imagine is more real than what you see. Dare to remain faithful to your inner vision in a world that insists you be realistic, and dare above all to feel. Now what you once reserved for the future, because when you feel it now, the future must obey. Thank you. Thank you for opening your heart to this message. Thank you for daring to dream bigger. And thank you for choosing right now to step into the most powerful truth of all. You already are what you desire to be. The rest is just catching up.